The just shall live by their faith, meaning, very simply deconstructed, you don't have faith, you're not living. Because faith is going to be basically the VIP card to get into the end times and stay in the end times. The end times is going to be like a big ballroom, but the entry into that thing, it's going to be free. We're all going to be packed into it like cattle. But to stay in it, faith is going to be required. Faith is the VIP card that you're going to flash and say, oh no, I belong here. People hate each other. Wars break out. Famines tend to come. Natural disasters tend to increase. Those are seasons where Satan flourishes because he loves darkness and he hates light. He hates when we love each other and we are kind to each other. The adamant stone is a real stone. It is an unbreakable stone. It cannot be broken. It has magical properties, and yet God has put it in the Bible. Now, when we use the word adamant, we mean very firm, cannot be moved. The adamant that God is talking about is a stone that cannot be cracked. And he said to Jeremiah, I have made you as an adamant flint. Two things that are hard to break next to each other. That is who God has chosen to come and sit before you here. Not today, but for years, cycles, I've been here, and I will continue to be here despite all. So if you're feeling fear, you need to deal with it. You're feeling doubt, you need to eat it. You need to cut it up and fry it and eat it and handle it however you can. If it takes you a month, good job. It takes you 2 weeks, good for you. It takes you a year, whatever floats your boat. You will eventually have to come. You will have to come and land and settle at the exact place I have landed and settled. God means what he says. And those who listen, you will build faith up because you need that faith to live. You need the faith when you know you don't have that much money. And then you hear when they finally declare some years from now that we're in a recession, the recession we already know we're in. When they finally officially say it because they can't lie anymore, their backs are to the wall. You will need faith to know that in the supermarkets, with the police being less, people are being more lawless. There's one last full chicken left. You reach for it at the same time a bigger man reaches for it, and the two of you are holding it at the same time. And then you look at him and he looks at you and you're ready to start an argument. And then that man just moves his coat a little bit and he's carrying a hunting knife. He's carrying a hunting knife in a neighborhood where it's well known that the cops don't come anymore. The cops are not responding to 911 calls anymore. Are you ready to die over a chicken? Or are you just going vegetarian that day? That's what you need your faith for. You don't need faith for the foolish arguments that you're getting into now on social media. You need to be turning yourself, like I've turned myself, to the future that I know is coming. I know the future of crying is coming, but I will not be in that future crying. The people who are talking a lot now will be crying in that future. I've seen that future, and Yah is preparing me for that future to be a bright light in it. And I don't want to let him down. Living from faith to faith is deliberate because faith is a hard weather fruit. You got a great job, you're making money, all your bills are paid, life just seems to be on the up and up. We don't use much faith. Thank you, Jesus. We don't use much faith on the incline. The downward swoop, we don't use a lot of faith for it. Before I put the camera back on for this second half, the Lord brought to mind a dream that I did several months ago. Maybe it's 3 months ago. It's called the School of the Spirit. And I said that the ground was flat and people were running in and out of a massive building. It seemed like a terminal, and God was showing me this is the world. Some people had stopped and they were having conversations. Some people were focused. They were busy. They knew where they were going and they were going there. And I was one of those people. Some people were traveling and then they saw people that they knew. And then instead of moving, right, instead of walking, they stopped to hold conversations. And God was showing me, you see distraction, you see delay. He was showing me all of the different things that every last one of us are going through right now. And then all of a sudden, the ground, which had been flat level playing field, meaning that everybody has more or less the same choices, the same chances, the same opportunities and whatever, it tilted. And when it tilted, a lot of people began to run downhill. They began to run with the incline. They began to run in the direction of least resistance, but not me. The place that I was going, I was heading uphill. And I said that the more it tilted, people were forced, the momentum began to push them downhill. And I said that I actually saw some people going off the edge. I saw them sliding and they could not stop themselves. They lost their footing, fell on their backsides, and they slid off the edge. Those are the people who will not be with us anymore. Those are the in memoriam people. The way that they're living now. There's no breaks. There's no checks and balances. There's no accountability. There's no nothing. There's just feelings. Feed my feelings. I want this. I want that experience. I want that sensoriness. I want that carnality. Right off the edge, such people are going. They don't even have mountain hiker shoes to dig the cleats and say, I need to slow down. I'm betting too much. I'm a father of 2. I don't want my family homeless. I don't want to lose anything and everything in one big washout. I was heading uphill. And I said, no matter how that plane tilted, I leaned into it and I kept going. That is what the Lord brought to my mind.